Unfortunately, my pink trusty microphone's not working for me today, so I don't have anything to hold on. So I'll just have to use this microphone. It feels a bit awkward not having anything to hold while talking. See my details from my shirt. It's so cute. My FYP page on TikTok is full of Chinese baddie or Chinese trend. So now like I'm on my Chinese baddie trend. I'm avoiding cold drinks, especially cold coffee or whatever, and I try to drink a lot more hot or warm drinks. By the way, fun fact, my maternal grandma is Chinese, but she was raised from a Malay family, so we don't really have that Chinese cultural upbringing, but my mom is a typical Asian tiger mom. Anyways, previously I talked about how external validation was one of the drivers of my decision in a way. Like it's not my main driver for doing something, but it is one of the factors that I do consider unconsciously. Like, why do I want to do impressive stuff in the first place? Why do I want to seem impressive? Why am I hesitant to do something unless I know it's good? And inherently, it's because it's my need for validation, right? Because I feel like if I do something impressive or impress people, they validate me. As I'm trying to untangle my worth and identity with external validation, with gold stars, if these are no longer the measuring stick, then how do I decide from now on? You know, like what are the factors should I consider when making a big life decision? And if the overachiever is no longer my identity, then who am I actually becoming? Because I think for the longest time, liking myself was conditional. I liked myself when I was achieving. Like I think one of the first achievements that I ever had was I'm the youngest in the grade. Like my mom put me to school early a year. So I was always the youngest in the class. And that has always been seen as impressive. And that is more impressive if you actually get at the top of the class because you're the youngest and yet you're at the top of the class. So for the longest time, I think I liked myself when I was achieving something, when I was improving or when I'm being productive, because I think there's something tangible, you know, that I could see that I did. Like I've read X amount of books, I've completed X amount of certificates, I know this skill, that skill, whatever else skill. And I'm not saying that these are bad, but anchoring your identity and your self-worth to all these things is, because when these achievements and these productive things slow down, that sense of liking yourself sort of slowly will disappear too, because you have been anchoring these achievements to your identity and self-worth, because you have been liking yourself based on these things that you do. And I realized that I didn't really know how to like myself. I don't really know how to love myself unconditionally. I realized that I don't like myself if there's no results. Like I would blame myself if I didn't get the outcome that I tried so hard to get. I won't like myself if there is no progress towards a goal that I'm trying to achieve. Like, okay, the easiest way is try to ask yourself, list 3 things that you actually love about yourself. And if you can, great for you. But when I had to ask that myself, I'm not sure, but if I had to ask that about a friend, like list 3 great things that you love about your friend. It's easy for you to have it at the top of your head. But if I ask you to do that to yourself, list 3 things that you love about yourself, would it be as easy? Because it isn't to me. As I mentioned in my previous videos, you are the person that you are going to spend the most amount of time with. So you have to be able to sit down with yourself and like yourself. If let's say you have a friend that's stuck with you 24/7 and you talk to her the way you talk to yourself, would that friend still be with you? Like would she still appreciate your friendship? And I think that's the thing as well. Like we know how to be kind and be a good friend to everyone, but you don't know how to be kind and be a good friend to yourself. So because of this, I want to start paying attention to how I was living and how I am as a person, how I spoke to people when I'm tired or I'm angry or I'm frustrated, especially my husband and my family, how I reacted when things don't go according to plan or perfectly. Like, do I blame myself or harshly criticize myself or suddenly feel that I'm not good enough just because the outcome was bad? In essence, I'm trying to start paying attention to how I treat myself, because I think our identity should not be built through milestones. Instead, it should be built through small, everyday choices, like being honest even though you had a chance to lie, like choosing to rest and not beating yourself up for not being productive during that rest, with owning mistakes instead of spiraling or taking things personally. I think I'm still gonna crash out a bit here and there, but I'm not gonna take anything personally. I'm probably just gonna be like, oh my god, and then still at the end, I'm gonna try not to take anything personally. I still crash out here or there. Now, after untangling my self-worth or identity from all these achievements, I want to become someone that I actually like. And I think that when you want to become someone that you like, it's not like brute forcing your way to change to someone you like, but instead loving yourself right now and slowly trying to be someone that you know you could be. It's not like I'm here, I want to be there, and because I'm not here yet, I hate myself. That's not going to help you in a way, right? You should be, I love myself here, but I want to try to be there. But let's see if I could try to be there. But let's say if I'm trying and I'm not reaching there, I still love myself anyway. I saw this TikTok video about how you should approach discipline instead of punishment, approach it in a way that's like self devotion, in a way that's like because you love yourself and you think you deserve to have a good body, you deserve to have a good mind, you should do all these different habits and try to achieve these different goals. But it has to come from the perspective of self devotion, of that you deserve good things. I'll link the video in the description because I can't really encompass what she said in this video. She has better words than me, but I really thought that it was really interesting and eye opening. So I want to try to focus on being someone that I like. And I want to try to do that with not forcing myself or brute forcing myself to be that person, but instead trying to be that person out of love and also trying to love myself unconditionally, even if I didn't get to be, what I wanted to be. And I want to be someone that I myself respect. One of the things that I think I need to work on is not being too lenient. I actually look up to people who can be strict, those who are really good at saying no, but still in a diplomatic way and not offending anybody and no one gets offended. I think I'm a pushover. For some reason, I can't say no, even though I should be strict about it, especially now that I'm more of on a leadership role, right? I can't be the pushover boss because of course everyone's going to take advantage of that. So I want to become someone who I respect as well because it means that I also respect myself to not being pushed over by other people. I also want to start doing stuff just because. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to be something that I genuinely like and proud of. Like, for example, if a friend came up to you and said, oh, they did this, you'll be proud of them. And then I want to be the same thing towards myself. If I'm doing something, even if it is not impressive, I still want to be doing it and be proud of myself for doing it. Since I'm trying to not think about achievements and external validation all the time, I've started to use a simple check on myself. Like, let's say if a friend did the things that I wanted to do, would I be proud of them? If I am, then that means I should just go for it. Because I think previously I hold myself back a lot because I think it's not impressive enough. And I start to ask myself this question instead. In a way, it's also a form of self-respect, right? Like, why are you proud of your friend of doing something, but when you do it, you don't feel proud of yourself? So now I'm trying to prioritize more self-respect and self-devotion more than achievement. And once that shifted, I realized that I didn't just want to succeed or do all these things, but also I want to like the way that I'm living and the way that I treat myself and like the person that I'm becoming. Because now the goal is not to become someone impressive, but instead is to become someone that I like unconditionally.